Hello, everybody. Good evening. Rose here. Tonight, I'm reacting to the community post that Foodie made where she basically made a quote unquote apology. And why am I putting it in quotes? Because when Chantal makes an apology, it's not really sincere. It's her basically trying to excuse away her bad behavior. She seems to have a cycle with that. She will go off, she'll rage at people, she'll act badly, and then she'll apologize and then turn around and do it all over again. So she did a community post, but she turned the comments off. So Chantal has been claiming that she's changing for the better. She's trying to live in a much more healthy way, be much more modest, be much more mild-mannered, if you will. But we've seen anything but that while she's been in Kuwait. What we've seen is a woman who's got an anger problem, and she wants so much to rage, to go full throttle with it, but she just can't. But unlike the time that she spent in Canada, where she raged and no one was around to put her in check, she's got Sala there now, and he doesn't like her doing the full-on raging and acting the fool. So I guess she got in trouble with Sala. So since her community post, the comments are turned off. What I'm going to do is reference BBQ Chicken's community post where she posted the apology, but there are comments there. So I want to give full credit to BBQ Chicken, and I will leave a link for her channel in the description for those who want to check out BBQ Chicken if you don't know about BBQ Chicken yet. So let me just go ahead and pull up the screen so you guys can see everything, because the comments on BBQ Chicken's community post in reply are really, really great. So there is the community post by Chantal. And again, as you can see, there's no comments. None. Which would be impossible. You acted the fool. You raged. You put people down. There's no comments, Chantal? No, you turned them off. This is you running from your nonsense. If you are truly maturing and growing up and getting better as a person, you're gaining more self-awareness. Why would you run from the crap that you start, from the things that you say? Someone who is maturing and growing as a person, someone who's developing self-awareness, they don't run from the messes they start. They don't start a fire and then run away from it. No, they'll stand right there and go, yes, it was me. I started the fire. I am sorry. I shouldn't have done that. That is not you. And that will probably never be you. But here's what Chantal said. She said, after last night, I feel exhausted. I am simply baffled that so many can effortlessly be so negative every day. I realize that this will never go away, and any attention I bring it only makes things worse. I will need to try harder and do better to protect myself against such negativity, and most importantly, my family. I promise my husband and myself to try harder to ignore the hate thrown at me on a daily basis. This is difficult for me, as you know. I am quick to anger and react, and certain individuals rely on this for content. I cannot control this. I am sorry to my audience for acting like an angry fool. Okay, so let's go over the post before I pull up BBQ Chicken's community post and the replies there. Let's go over her original post. Let's see. I am simply baffled that so many can effortlessly be so negative every day. Chantal, that's you. You're negative every day, and you don't have to be. You are in another country with your new husband. You don't have to pay attention to the reaction channels and what they say. You choose to do that. You choose to seek out the channels and their chats and their comments and pocket watch their views and super chats and all that. You do that to yourself, ma'am. You make yourself aggravated at a time when you should not. I promise my husband and myself to try harder to ignore the hate thrown at me on a daily basis. Who's throwing hate at you? You make it sound like the reaction channels are in your chat bothering you. They're not. They are on their channels, reacting to your content. They stay in their lane. You're the one lurking in other people's chats, lurking and spying and snooping, and again, making yourself mad. I'm quick to anger and react, and certain individuals rely on this for content. But you know what? That also goes the other way, Chantal. You need content right now, badly, because your new ideas for making money just aren't, they're not being profitable. You need a reason to rage because that's what's the most interesting about your channel. It's so sad. You've been on YouTube for 5 years and rage is the only interesting thing you got? It would seem so, because you could ignore channels and what they say, but at the same time you're looking at the reaction channels and saying, oh, they're vultures and thieves, they steal my content, but yet you don't mind using them for content for yourself, even went so far as to reacting to FFG, reacting to her content. I love this part. I cannot control this. What do you mean you can't control it? You can't control? You can't control yourself? You can't control the urge to snoop on the reaction channels? You can't control yourself. I think you can, you just don't want to. So going over here to BBQ Chicken, and she's got the blown up version of the post. The comments are great, so let's go to the comments. Hammond Bean says, no matter how hard she tries, her inner Eric Cartman will always come out. Yeah, because she feels the most alive when she's angry. Honestly, I think that's what it is. Some people, they got an anger problem, but beyond that, they feel the most alive and energetic when they're angry. That's Chantal to a T. She feels the most alive when she's angry. There's nothing else that makes her feel that up. Carolyn says she doesn't act like an angry fool. She is an angry fool. Yes, absolutely true. In 1 minute she's saying, I'm controlling myself. I'm more modest now. I'm changing. And then she goes right back to the way she used to be. So nothing has changed. Her attire might have changed. Where she's staying right now might have changed. But the person is still exactly the same. She may not be indulging in some of her vices while she's there because she can't. But everything that is Chantal followed her to Kuwait. Which proves the point that if you're a mess, it doesn't matter how far away you move from your original location, the mess is going to come with you. You're bringing that baggage with you. That's why you got to deal with it before you leave. Sleek Greek says, this woman has been the most negative creature the past 3 years. Talking about last night. Yeah, for someone who's so changed, she hasn't stopped being mad. She hasn't stopped being miserable. There's not been like 2 weeks of peace with Chantal. She's either sad or she's angry. Relentless Sloth says Chantal is the one drunk friend who has to apologize after every outing while everyone else just nods and rolls their eyes. Yeah, she's that person that she's got that vile anger spirit, whatever you want to call it, inside of herself, and she gets drunk or she gets inebriated. And then she says, oh, that wasn't me. That was the alcohol. No, the alcohol did not put those words in your mouth. They did not make you act that way. If you're trying to blame your anger on alcohol or drugs or the reactors, that's wrong. That's you. That's the inside of you. We've seen you be that angry sober, Chantal. You can't blame it on something else. You can't say, oh, it's the reactor's fault. I drink too much. It's the alcohol's fault. No, that's you. That's you all day, every day, 24/7. The Prince of Darkness says, I promised my husband. She's getting on my very last nerve with this nonsense. You know what I think? I think she got in trouble with Sala. Like her raging and going off and acting the fool. I think she made him mad, and that's why she's apologizing. Not because she's truly sorry for her behavior, because there's somebody there now that she goes over a line, he's going to let her know. She's got to answer to him. So this apology has nothing to do with accountability, with self-awareness, has to do with Sala. She doesn't want to make Sala angry, and she keeps making him angry. Chantal, this is not good. This is supposed to be your husband, and you've been over there for what, a month, and you've already made him mad more than once? Not smart. Wendy M says she'll never realize that everything she spews about other people is actually describing who she is. Right. Deflection. Deflection. Deflection at its finest. Deflection. She's deflecting the fact that she's a rotten person, an angry person, an unhappy person. And misery loves company. I'll go, I'm miserable, so I'm going to make everybody miserable too. Because I don't want to be miserable all by myself. That's Chantal. Donna Terry says, I don't know why she is even worried about money. Her husband will take care of everything and pay for everything. Well, that's what she told us. But from everything I've seen, I don't think he's in a position to take care of Chantal. I really don't see it. I don't get that sense that he's in a position financially to take care of her. Maybe I'm wrong. He could just be one of those I like to live modestly kind of guys, and that's perfectly fine. But Chantal, she messed up. She talked him up. She exaggerated him. Oh, he's got this money. He's a successful businessman. But then she went to Kuwait. We saw how he lived, and we're like, the picture does not match the description that you gave us before your trip. And that's why everybody reacted the way they did. Florida, oh my goodness, I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Florida Mapolita says, you can't make a silk purse from a sow's ear. New curtains hiding the same dirty house. Shame on her. You know, that saying right there, you can't make a silk purse out of it from a sow's ear, is very similar to one that I heard growing up. You can paint a garbage can gold, but it's still a gold garbage can. You know, whatever it is what it is, no matter how many coats of paint you put on it. No matter how pretty you try to make it, it is what it is. So she worked really hard on creating the trashiest, sleaziest, most offensive image of herself with people. And she thinks she can just sweep it all under a rug by changing how she dresses and her location. No. If you work that hard for that long to create a very sleazy, easy, offensive, vulgar, gross image, Chantal, it's going to take time to change it. And that's only if you're genuine about changing it, which I don't think you are. I think you're just putting on the abaya and using it like a costume. You're hiding. You're trying to escape from your old life for a while because you're around someone that he's not a supporter of the way you were. So you're just trying to be what he wants you to be for the sake of hanging out with him, at least for a while. I don't know if it's going to last forever. I don't think so. MSC says, I like these posts where for a second she partially admits her guilt. Amber never ever does. You know, if you're partially admitting your guilt, you're not really admitting it. If you're doing a half-assed job of it, that means you're not really coming forward with all of it. It's either all or nothing. If you're like going halfway, that's not good enough. If you're trying to change, if you're saying to everybody, I'm changing, I'm becoming more healthy, I'm growing up, then prove it. Half-ass apologies don't cut it. Admitting your guilt halfway doesn't cut it. You got to go all the way or it doesn't count. Because doing it halfway just shows that you're not really growing. Jordan says, how can one protect herself from the negativity when she's the negative all the time? She talks about the reaction channels like we're bringing the negativity to her. But yet she's her own universe of negative, complete with revolving planets. She brings the negativity. She is the negativity. And guess what, Chantal? If you got that negativity inside of you, it's going to stay there until you deal with it. It will. And it has nothing to do with the reaction channels. All the mess of your life has to do with you, with things that you do to yourself and for yourself. All the issues that you might have in your head, the addictions and all that, that's you. That's personal stuff. That's you. The reaction channels have nothing to do with that. How can you blame the reaction channels for negativity when you were negative way before they came in the picture? When you were living in a very selfish, spoiled, rotten way before the reaction channels were even around. All you did was wander onto YouTube and find a way to take your selfish, manipulative self, your behavior, your lies, and make it profitable. That's all you did. Aaron C says, Chantal needs to stop putting this on front. I can see how hard it is for her to not be authentic and clap back. Is it worth it to be in a relationship with someone who probably wants you to change yourself completely? Look, if you're with somebody and they're telling you, I want you to change this, 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 and this, and this about yourself, they don't love you. Granted, Chantal needs to improve herself and take care of herself, but that's a decision she has to make on her own, and it can't be because of outside influence. She's got to want to do it in order for it to stick, in order for it to work. She's doing everything she's doing for Sala. But the real test is when she goes home to Canada and he's not there. Is she going to be able to maintain? Is she going to be the same? Not being a negative Nancy, but I don't think she's going to stay the way she is now when she comes home to Canada. She's going to go right back to the way she was. Probably worse, because she's been away from all of her temptations, and Sala's been telling her, no, 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 no. Well, when she's in an environment where there's no one to tell her no, nothing to stand in her way, she's going to go for it. And she's going to justify it by telling herself, well, I've been good. I haven't done edibles and whatnot forever. I can do a little bit. That's how it's going to start. That's how it's going to start, y'all. She's going to justify binging again and doing the edibles again. She will. Mark my words. I don't want that for her, but it's going to happen. Just because she's not trying to find self-control with food right now. She's still eating. It's amazing to me. I just did a react where she talked about I need to do healthy eating and I can't do mukbangs anymore. She had the niqab on, but she was still eating. Eat a bag of chips with the abaya on, so she was still doing streams, still eating. She just can't let that go. Lisa says she brings everything on herself. She is a nasty person. Her mother did a great job raising this thing. Look, I am not one to talk about her family. I wasn't there to see her upbringing. But obviously something went horribly wrong. Something went wrong somewhere because of her personality and just the way she behaves. Something happened. Something happened. But you know what? Can I just say this? Even if you're someone and you get brought up in a family and the environment is not positive, there are plenty of people that get brought up in homes where the environment is not positive. Maybe one or both parents are not supportive. Maybe it's a sense of poverty or abusive or something. That doesn't mean the person who's young at the time they grow up, they're going to be horrible adults. A lot of people, they get brought into this world and raised in not great circumstances, but they grow up into great people, nice people, successful people, because maybe they get brought up in that environment and they're like, I want to be a better person. So you can't blame everything on the family. I don't know anything about the family. I'm not comfortable talking about the family. But if you're an adult, you can't really look at your family and say they're to blame. Because once you become an adult, you have control over your destiny. You have control over your life. Chantal chose to be out of control with her life, to put her out of controlness on YouTube and profit off of it. Now that she's made a crap ton of money and she hit the wall with everything she can do to be outrageous, there's nowhere left for her to go. She has no ideas. She's doing this. And she said in a live stream, as far as her dressing, how she's dressing now, she's doing it for content. She said that outright. Fox says, you can spray rotting meat with Febreze, wrap it in a paper towel to not make it look so gross, but at the end of the day, it's still just rotten meat. Yep. You can sit there and spray perfume on it to where it doesn't smell, but what's rotten is rotten. Whatever something is, you can't cover it up. It's going to come shining through to the surface eventually. Misty says, the thing is that they are reacting to, and she is trying to defend herself from things that came out of her own mouth. Yes, yes, thank you for saying that. And we watched it all unfold for the past year and a half. At this point, I feel like I watch because I can't even imagine what the next chapter will look like. She is so lost and doesn't even see it. She is not a good person. So those of us that are reactors, we're not just speculating about Chantal and making up stuff. We put on our videos and we react to her in real time. You can hear her, you can see her. We're reacting to the words that are coming out of her mouth and the things she's doing. So how are we evil? We're just giving our feelings and opinions about it all. There's nothing wrong with that. And as far as Chantal being lost, I don't know if she's lost. If she is, I don't think she's trying to find herself because she's too busy burying her problems in food. And she really needs to cut that out. Her weight right now is scary. She really needs to slow down with that. Sammy says the internet is forever, Chantal. Yes, it is. And just because you are a train wreck for a year and you profited off of being a train wreck for a year, you did every offensive thing you could think of. You said offensive things. You were completely gross on every level. You don't have the power to erase everything you did. You're not one of the men in black that you can point a gun at people and give them amnesia. People remember. Maybe that's what you hate. People remember and they bring stuff up. You just want to pretend that all that stuff never happened. But you were okay with it happening while you're making money off of it, weren't you? Yeah, you did. You were very happy being the train wreck. Very happy. You couldn't wait to get in front of the camera and act gross. You never stopped yourself. Taking My Spirit Back says, wouldn't it be easier on her if she would say something like, I know I've been an evil mess. I know it's going to take time to earn the respect I want, and I understand why people don't trust me. Well, a statement like that, if it was meant from the heart, it would be something. But that would mean you say something like that when you're taking accountability, when you're gaining some self-awareness. So she hasn't made a statement like that. She's gave us a lot of lip service and a lot of halfway apologies that she never means, because she'll apologize and then go right back to raging. I just don't see in Chantal that she's growing. I see her just putting on a personality that is not her own to get people off her back. She'll rage, she'll offend people, she'll rage at her own members, and then to calm everything down after she's made everybody angry and people start leaving. Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. No, you're not sorry. What she's sorry is when people leave and take the money with them. She's not sorry for the people she hurts. It's about the money they take away that she wants. Pink Diamond says she literally goes on crazy rants, then posts these same kind of self-aware apology, promising to do better every other day. Broken record. Yep, it's happened before. When someone like Chantal, they rage, then they apologize, rage, then apologize, rage, then apologize. When somebody does the same behavior and they do the same things that hurt people, offend people, and they apologize, but then the apology doesn't last long. I mean, how much weight can you put behind that? You can't. It just comes off as not being sincere. Rex Vincent says she really is blind as to how her own negativity is reflected back onto her. It's a sin for everyone else but her. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Maybe it has to do with her narcissistic ego. Narcissists, they just don't get it. How anyone would look at them as being selfish and self-centered. Everybody sees it but them. The ego just gets in the way. Okay. Poutine Dream says, we have joked in the past when her community posts sound like she's being held hostage. So I don't think I'm being racist or xenophobic here. That's literally how she sounds. If I was somehow a loved one of Chantal's and the only communication I was getting was text, she sounded like this, I'd call the law. Why she's sounding like this, Poutine, is because Sala is there. She's afraid of offending him, not because he's a violent person, but because she's literally obsessed with Sala. And like I said, unlike Canada, when she was in her room and she would rage, there'd be nobody there to say, hey, you're acting the fool. This is wrong. She's got somebody there that once she crosses the line, he's going to get mad at her and let her know. And so this is her way of saying, I'm sorry. I was bad. I'm sorry, Sala. Won't happen again. That's what this is. It wasn't so much an apology to everybody. It was an apology to him. That's all it was. It was for him. Jane Doe says, this community post is a shocker. I mean, it's so out of character for Chantal to write something like this. Also, it's hilarious that the post right below this one is her channel is begging for subscribers. And she's offering discounts on her channel. But then she rage blocks people on her last live. Make it make sense. You know what, Jane? Jane, hey, I'm as confused as you. I'm confused. Not so much about her apology, because she's done this before. I'm confused how someone like Chantal, who's hurting for money, to the point where, for the first time ever, she made a separate tier, a lower tier for Beezers, I think because she's not got enough Beezers signing up under the $5. She's so hurting for money, she made a separate tier at a lower price. But at the same time she did that, when she's live, she puts down people for sending her 99-cent super chats. Make that make sense. I don't get it. You're going to put down people for giving you money? I don't care if it's 1 penny. It's money that's not yours, it's somebody else is giving you. You're hurting for money, but yet you're going to put down people for giving you money. I got nothing. I got nothing. Christy M says, how many of these types of posts have we gotten this year? Chantal, a zebra cannot change its stripes. We know who you are, and we know the hate you hold in your heart. You're not fooling anyone. No, you're not fooling anybody, Chantal. No one. We know it's only a matter of time before you go back to Canada and you reveal your real self. We're just waiting. We're waiting for you to go back to Canada, see what happens. Let's see. Busted Custard said, always wondered if some people are born evil or where they are made with time. And then there was Chantal. Don't think her soul can ever be cleansed from what she has said or done, to be honest. I hate that I know anything about her, but I still watch because her karma will be sweet to watch. Everybody's hanging around that. Like, will she suffer any repercussions for anything she's done? We're all wondering. We're all curious. We're all curious about that. You know, she's done some pretty horrible things. But I think part of her karma started when she got to Kuwait. Because she's not happy. She is flat out miserable. She's miserable. And on top of that, she ain't making money. Money is so important to Chantal. She worships at the altar of money. Yet she's the idiot who chose to go to Kuwait and stay there during one of the highest months of the year for YouTubers. Moron. You gave up money for a guy you can only look at because he ain't touching you. Did all that for what? For content that's failing. Karma. It's not a lot, but I'll take it. Stay in your lane says all that camping in the desert is making her grumpy. Well, that's not the only thing making her grumpy. The fact that she's looking at Sala, she wants to be with Sala intimately, and he ain't giving it to her. You know that's got to be torture. Look but don't touch. Lori D says, give her time. She's good for at least a rage or two before the day is over with. He has to sleep or go out for her to do so. Yeah, I'm sure that's when it's going to happen. If Sala goes out to smoke shisha with the boys, that's when she's going to turn on her phone and rage. And then she's probably going to get in trouble again with Sala. And then she's going to apologize again. She just keeps getting in trouble with Sala. So this little apology is going to happen again. She's been there for what, a month, and she's already gotten in trouble at least a couple of times. You know, she just can't control herself. Jamie Reynolds says she can control herself. She just chooses not to. She's like a child. Yep. I mean, she's an adult. An adult knows how to control themselves. It's just a matter of do you want to or don't you? The Geeky Banana says rage, apologize, repeat, right? You know, lather, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. Katia Emmeline says the words are ignore and unplug. She hasn't changed and never will. She just has a new getup on, a new man, a new relationship. Put your past behind and move on happily. But it's clear she's just a miserable person, and your audience could care less. Everyone is busy living their lives. We can see this crap for 5 minutes, then we move on to our daily plans. But she just lives this repeated misery every day. Girl, unplug and go make some new real friends. Good grief. Out there in the streets acting like a doggone fool. Yep. Like, this is all she has. YouTube is all she has. So she's in misery, and she's got to share her misery with other people. You know, like I said, misery loves company. If I'm miserable, I'm going to spread my misery out on other people. Sherry says, I heard she banned Flop Era, one of her loyals, or they left now that Foodie Beauty old trendy did. Suppose this happened the last few days. Well, like I said, I heard that Foodie got mad at Flop because Flop grabbed Foodie's the name she wanted, Foodie Beauty OG, so that Foodie couldn't use it. But that's Foodie's fault because she didn't change it over fast enough. So good on you, Flop. Good on you. Stardy says she's in trouble with Sala because she can't behave or help herself. She doesn't need to try harder for Sala. She sounds forced to apologize by her parent. Yeah, this kind of sounds like a parent to a child. Look what you did. Now you go and you apologize. That's what it sounds like. A forced apology, not a real apology that comes from the heart because you feel bad over something you said or you did. This feels like I had to do this. I had to do this because I made somebody mad. And you know what? Chantal, you're an adult. You're not a child. You should know how to behave. How can you be 38 years old and know how to behave? You're not a toddler. Gia says, don't worry, fake wife. He will fake love you as long as he gets his real papers. So stop trying to prove that you are decent. He doesn't care. Nope, he doesn't. He cares about what he can get. He doesn't care about her. Go Gomaman says, just turn off the comments and stop doing lives. Bam. Negativity gone, but also her views. And Chantal over there saying, oh, I could quit YouTube at any time. He'll support me. Then why haven't you quit? You want to change your life? Why haven't you quit YouTube? You know, like, oh, my, being on YouTube was so traumatic and I was so toxic on YouTube and I did all this stuff. Then get off YouTube. If that's the source of your suffering, get off YouTube. But you won't because you're a money hungry fool. Sherry says the negative bully is talking about negative and playing the victim card. It being bullied as she goes on seems daily bullying others. Yeah, she bullies others. Rain's Art says, well, really, it is simple, Chantal. Get off YouTube. Then the only person who can hate you on a daily is your husband. Because I'm sure most of the people you see in Kuwait have no idea who you are. If you are really changing, then come back in 6 months, a year, or never improve everyone wrong. Right. Take a hiatus from YouTube. If you really want to change, you want to focus on your change, because obviously you can't do it on YouTube. Take a break from YouTube, but you're never going to do it. So you're not going to commit to any kind of real change. So that's it for all the comments. And again, courtesy of BBQ Chicken, because this is her community post. She reposted Chantal, and as you guys can see, there's no comments here. So I went to BBQ Chicken. I will link her channel in the description for those who haven't checked out BBQ Chicken yet. So hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.